Welcome to the Dating Without Nipples podcast, where we talk all about overcoming insecurity to show up for your most courageous life. I have with me today Crystal Connelly. I'm so excited for everyone to learn a little bit more about her. Crystal is a healer, yoga teacher, chef, mom, and for over the past 15 years, Crystal has started and run several successful small businesses in the wellness industry, ranging from plant-based food, energy healing, and yoga. And at the root of her mission is Crystal's desire to help women discover ease, that feels good, and happiness within themselves. Crystal embodies holistic healing mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually as a vegan of 20 plus years, Reiki Master, and 500-hour yoga teacher. These paths of embodiment have guided her to help others rebalance, grow, and heal within these realms. Crystal enjoys helping folks shape the vision of their business, develop stronger inner guidance, and overcome past traumas. With Crystal, you will always be greeted with compassion, empathy, and a smile. I personally know that to be true, and I'm so happy to have you today.
Thank you. I am super honored and super excited to be here with you.
It's so much fun. So, Crystal, that is a vast variety of experience. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts and dreams early on. Did you always want to go into the holistic fields, or did each of these different professions come to you organically? Where did you start with all of this?
Well, Alissa, this started when I was, I don't know, probably, I think I was probably 8 years old, and I might have been younger, but I remember being in the forest because my family, where I grew up, I lived, surrounded by forests, and that's where my brother and I would always play, in the forest with all the neighborhood people, all the little, runts of the village. They would all gather in the forest, and that's what we did. We would build forts and whatever. So I remember sitting in a circle, probably 8 years old, and everyone just hanging out, talking about, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, and very clearly, and with dominance, I said, I'm going to be an FBI agent. So, but the thought behind being an FBI agent was like, I'm going to help people. I'm going to help people be safe. And I'm not an FBI agent.
But you are helping people in so many ways.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it started with food, and food, I've always had this connection to food because when I was younger, through middle school and high school, I had a ton of issues with my digestive system. And, back in the 80s and the 90s, the doctors really were like, we don't know. It's got to be just probably IBS or whatever. They would just chalk it up to IBS. So I had to go on my own adventure, my own journey to find out what was wrong and start eliminating foods and really like tuning in to my internal happenings, what's happening inside my body, and then figuring out eventually what it was wheat and dairy. I had to remove those things out of my diet. And I already was a self-proclaimed vegetarian. However, I didn't know that I was a vegetarian. I just decided that I was not going to be eating meat any longer when I was, however old, like 5, 6. And so no meat, which was probably really good. And it was, at an early age, my body was already like, no meat, don't eat meat. And so then I discovered, through that process to not eat dairy and gluten, and became vegan, when I was 19 probably. And then from there, it just evolved. Like the evolution of love towards food and the healing power of food. And, just introducing it to people, like, this is how I eat. And there's so much amazingness that happens in a piece of kale or whatever. And then from there, so always food was the beginning. And then I became a chef and started a catering company, and started the catering company officially in Hawaii with you guys. And that was through the encouragement of all of you, my foundation. And that was amazing and beautiful, using, all, the fresh things from the islands. And then had my child, and my first child, and then came to Seattle and started again. Like, what does this mean to me? Because it starts all over. So then, so long story, but food has always been this healing, nourishing part of myself that I've always wanted to give outward. And then from there, I was an instructor at a plant-based culinary academy, and also running a full-time catering business, and also doing all things kid related with my children. And I came into massive burnout, and layered with other things in life. And so then I said, bleep this. And
you're more than welcome to say what you really mean on this podcast.
Yeah. That was it. I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing anymore. I'm done with this shit. And so then a whole new evolution begins.
Awesome. Well, I love that. And from your story and from knowing you personally, I can really see how it ties together from at a very young age. And it really is such a part of who you are, is that you have this decisiveness and this authority and this passion. And so you want to help people. And the things that then you come across in your own life experience, it seems you almost can't help but just want to cultivate that to a degree that you can send it out into the world and be such a leader and help people. And I can see why you've been able to go down these different paths, from food to yoga, even to parenting. And that's really inspiring. I have to ask, because it's a real part of my story and part of why we come together in these conversations, there must have been some insecurities along the way. I know what a powerhouse you are, but I also know that to be a powerhouse, we have to overcome some fears. So can you talk a little bit about some of the insecurities that came along with creating this for yourself and for others?
Oh, always. There's always insecurity. Always. It's always there. And I think that initially with building a catering business, and myself and I doing all the different things, and then looking on Instagram and all the people who are doing all the things on Instagram that look so successful and glamorous. And then felt that I'm just like, oh, now I'm defeated, and people are already doing it, and I don't have the help, and I don't have the support, and so yeah, absolutely. And even in like going into yoga was a huge do I do this for me, because I was super insecure about stepping foot in the face of that world. I've done yoga a lot, throughout the years of my life, but I've never been the all eyes on you guide me. And so for me, it was super scary. And but it was at that point in my life, I was like, this is what I have to do. I have to do this for myself. And I don't give a shit if I don't teach. It's just for me. And so then I did it. And from that, I didn't even halfway through my 200-hour teacher training, I was like, there's no way I can get up and teach and speak my voice and my authentic voice at that in front of a crowd of people that I don't know. There's no fucking way. It's really just like, okay, I feel this insecurity. I know that it's there. And how can I move through it, or at least acknowledge and embrace it, and then be able to step over it? Because that ultimately, that's how you grow, right? You have to step into it in order to know the fear fully, and then realize, oh, okay, it's just like everything else, and then moving forward into the next one.
So it's acknowledging the fear. It's not just shoving it down and trying to overcompensate with overconfidence, which of course yoga students, everybody will feel. If there's anything true to yoga, it's be authentic and be present. Mm-hmm. So I really admire how you could sense that in yourself. Where has stepping over that fear brought you, and what are some of the things you're really enjoying? How were you able to help others and fulfill your mission because of working through these insecurities and overcoming fear?
Yeah, so let's see. I think I'm going to start backwards from that. I'm going to start how I'm able to help because of my experience, and then what it is I'm doing, I'll follow that up with. So I think that, like, I guess like most everyone, right? We all come into this place of whatever it is our passion is, whatever it is that we want to offer out into the world in business, that comes from your own experience and your own ability to move and heal through your experience, and then being able to process it and offer it outwards. So that's, I think for me, absolutely, being able to tune into all the things that I've had to go through with my own physical body, with my own hardships in life, and my own experiences in business, is given me the ability to help others in areas of life, like their own business, like healing in their physical body, and healing in their emotional and spiritual body. And because if I hadn't gone through any of this journey, there's no way I could tune into any of that with anyone else. I could read all the things I want, and I can learn all the things that I want about it, but it wouldn't land on someone else with that authentic voice, with that deeper connection with each other. And so yeah, was that the answer to your question for the second half?
Well, I love that answer, because it's another big thing that might draw up insecurity in us along the way is, I'm not doing this right. I'm afraid, I'm struggling. And really, that's probably the most significant piece that we'll be able to offer and share. It's that connection, that compassion, that, hey, I've been there. This is what worked for me. And hey, I still go there. But we can move through this together. We're on this journey, and we all have so much to offer each other. So I love that that's what came through for you to share. Really appreciate that answer. I would also love to hear a little bit more about what you're doing now. I know that you're working or teaching multiple times with yoga. I think you're continuing as a vegan chef. So do you feel that you have gotten to a place in your life where you are that 8-year-old that says, I'm helping people, right? That has that passion come to a place where you feel that?
I think I do feel more grounded in the sense of who I am and what I want to offer. And I think that comes, for me, it's come with age. I guess, yes. So I'm just going to land that there. I think for me, it comes with age, but I do feel like I'm still learning and I'm still growing, and I am never going to stop. I think that's just part of my process. And I really do feel like, maybe probably everyone's process, because it's being a life learner in order to keep growing and evolving so that you can keep expanding and keep helping.
Yeah.
And so that's what I will always do that. And for me right now, I'm taking a few mentorships, which are from people that I really respect and that have been doing um, these different various elements for many, many more years than I have. So one of them is a yoga shaman sound healer. And so I'm mentoring with her for 6 months. And then I have a plant medicine mentorship with a woman who's does ethnobotany and all sorts of stuff plants. And then I have another mentorship that I'm doing with a Reiki Master to just elevate my being a healer. And so I do all those things. I teach yoga, I do workshops, I do a variety of healing through Reiki and sound and yoga energy movements. And then I also add in that plant-based elements of eating and creating food for your body and nourish your body. And so, but because I am constantly growing, I always want to reach out and say, how can I keep expanding? How can I keep offering deeper and more and better? Yeah.
Awesome. Such an incredible gift. And I really liked what you said about age. It sparked the question, okay, age. Does that come with insecurity, or are you at a place where you feel like, you know what, I know now how to deal with insecurity, and age is only making me more beautiful and more curious and more passionate. I think everything you're saying about being a lifelong learner is what keeps us young and just keep, the wisdom just builds. Is there anything specifically around age that you're finding to encourage even more depth in your practice? Are there insecurities in age, or are you just embracing it fully?
Yeah, that's a really good question. That I feel like for me, honestly, and this is not true for the most people that I know. Most people that I know who are getting older, who are going past, the middle half of their life, they don't want to. They're very resistant. They feel like, physically they don't want to go there. They feel challenged mentally because because they want to stay young and they're looking outwards how the world views them. And then just the slowing down of all systems in the body and dealing with that and how to deal with that and coming to terms with that and all those things. For me, however, I feel totally different. Which is not to say that I'm not saying that it's good or bad either way, because I just feel, and I've always felt this way. I've always felt like I am who I am, and there's no way, I am birthed into this world in this form, and it love my form. And why would I ever want to change what I have been given to escapade through this life with?
So powerful. That is an incredibly beautiful share. I can't say I've always been there, but it has been a gift of getting a little bit older and overcoming insecurities and fear to realize all that's ever on the other side is me. It's a return to home and to who I am. And that's actually always okay.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you're in the Seattle area, but where can people find you online and look a little bit more into your work? I know with coronavirus, you've been really generous to offer some yoga online. What are some resources you want to share, and how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah. So yes, I have been doing yoga online. I have a free class on Monday evenings that I offer, and you can find me out through the internet, which is via my website, which is yoga-u.org, yoga u. Yeah, and then so my free class, if you ever wanted to attend that, you have to put in a code, which is community yoga, and that's in the evenings on Monday. But otherwise, I offer classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I do gentle yoga. I do yoga for mobility and strength. I do yin yoga. And then my free community yoga is really more like a fusion yoga, which is deep connection, turning inward. Sometimes there's activation through your throat chakra, so you're releasing verbally outward. Sometimes I bring in different practices from like ancient cultures. So it's just a fusion of movements and meditations and mantras and mudras and all those things. Yeah.
So good. So good. And I'll put that in the show notes too. So there'll be links below for anybody that wants to find you. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing so much of your story and your passion and your curiosity. Love what you're doing. Love who you be. And just look forward to the continued journey and following all of the ways that you are going to continue to show up and help others. Thanks for everything you do. And we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody.